The great chamber of the Galactic Assembly pulsed with quiet confidence. Tall pillars of shining metal curved toward a high domed ceiling that glowed like distant starlight. Every seat around the circular dais was taken by representatives of the oldest and most powerful species in known space. Their voices and gestures mingled in a low hum of debate. All of them agreed on one thing. Earth was new, inexperienced, and unworthy of their serious attention. On the opposite end of the galaxy, Earth's capital city gleamed under morning sun. Glass towers and parks marked progress, yet most worlds saw Earth as a backwater planet. Few cared about its fragile blue oceans and green continents. Even fewer thought it could ever join the ranks of the elders, those ancient civilizations that shaped star lanes and interstellar law. Dr. Ava Patel stood before a bank of monitors in her laboratory. Her simple white coat did not hide the excitement in her bright eyes. For months, she and her small team had tracked an odd pattern of energy signals from the nebula surveys. The signal's shape changed daily, as if it carried a message. Earth. Scientists scratched their heads, but Ava sensed something profound, evidence of an intelligence older than any known. She tapped a console. A map of the Milky Way appeared, with a glowing line tracing back to Earth. We found our first true starborn neighbor, she whispered to her colleague, John Reyes, a soft-spoken engineer. And it's ancient, much older than we imagined, John leaned in. If this is real, it could rewrite everything we know about galactic history. Ava nodded, her heart pounding. If she could prove it, Earth might finally earn respect. Yet, she feared how the Assembly would react. They already dismissed Earth as a fledgling world that lacked both history and power. Half a light day away, on a sleek spaceship parked in orbit, Captain Leo Grant prepared his crew for a mission. He was the first Earth captain allowed outside the solar system in decades. Sensors and scanners lined the ship's observation deck. Crew members wore calm expressions, but Leo could sense their nervousness. Remember, he said, voice steady, our job is to gather data. No bravado, no empty promises, just facts. His second officer, Maya Ortiz, a sharp-minded navigator, traced their course through the stars. We'll meet the source of Dr. Patel's signal in less than 48 hours, Maya said. Let's hope we're ready. Back in the Galactic Assembly, debate grew quieter as the High Counselor, an ancient being from the Veloci species, rose to speak. Its long crystalline horns caught the dim light. Earth's bid for membership was polite, it intoned, but it lacks the age and influence to shape our future. We must refuse. Another delegate, an amphibious creature with silver eyes, whispered agreement. Their ships are small. Their culture is raw. They have nothing to offer. A warm, but firm voice cut through the murmurs. It belonged to Admiral Roni Vass, a veteran leader of the Federation of Seven Worlds. She leaned forward, her gaze steady on the council. We all began somewhere. I remind you that the council once rebuffed our ancestors thousands of cycles ago, she said. We would not exist now if they had turned us away. A hush fell. The assembly had not expected such a defense. Counselor Vass continued. We owe every world the chance to show its worth. I propose a trial. Let Earth present its findings on the signal. Let us judge the discovery, not the age of its stars. Voices rose in shock. Some protested. Others felt curiosity stir. Dr. Ava Patel would need to prepare her data rapidly. Captain Grant's mission would need to succeed. On Earth's observation deck, Leo stared at the slowly forming star system on the main screen. A small dim star, surrounded by drifting clouds of gas and rocky debris. Strange ripples of energy danced around it. It's beautiful, whispered Maya, like an echo from the universe's birth. Ava's voice crackled over the comlink. Captain Grant, this is Dr. Patel. We have to be cautious. The signal may carry dangerous information. Only transmit. Our readings, no guesses. Leo gave a curt nod. Understood. We'll scan and report. As the two sides prepared to clash, one determined to prove Earth's value, The other bent on dismissing another young world, the galaxy held its breath. Secrets older than the Council itself waited at the edge of human reach. If Patel and Leo Grant succeeded, Earth might finally step into the light as an elder. If they failed, the world would return to its place as mere children of the cosmos. Somewhere deep within that ancient star, the first pulse of the signal waited, ready, to reveal truths that could reshape every sentient mind across the galaxy. And for the first time, humanity stood on the brink of a challenge that would test its courage, intellect, and unity, proving whether youth could wield the wisdom of true elders. Asterisk. Captain Leo Grant watched the scanners as they hummed with new readings. The star they had approached glowed faintly through thick clouds of gas. Strange patterns of energy flickered around it, like ripples on a dark pond. Leo stood beside Maya Ortiz, who pointed at a cluster of data points. "Look at this," Maya said. "These readings match Dr. Patel's signal almost exactly. But there's something else, an artificial structure buried in the nebula." John Reyes and Lieutenant Eric Mills crowded around the display. Eric tapped a control and zoomed in on a blurry shape. "It could be a vessel or a station," he said. "Something carved out of the nebula itself." Leo leaned forward. "Prepare a detailed scan. We need blueprints and material analysis before we move closer." As they worked, Ava Patel's voice came through the comlink. "Captain, I'm patching into your sensors. Send me everything in raw form. We must be precise." "Copy that, Doctor," Leo replied. Down in the assembly hall, Counselor Vass rose again. "The trial period begins now," she declared. "Earth may present its findings at the next session in 3 days. Until then, the assembly grants no vote or voice. Let us observe only." Murmurs filled the hall. Many delegates bristled at the delay. Some whispered that Earth would never complete its work in time. Others wondered if the nebulous structure even existed. High Counselor Zalosi drummed its crystalline horns thoughtfully. 3 days is long enough for a world our size. It sad, but for Earth, it is generous. Proceed." On the ship, Leo's crew prepared a small exploration pod. Maya and Eric would pilot it, with John serving as mission specialist. The pod's hull was reinforced to withstand energy surges. A delicate grappler arm extended from its front, designed to sample materials. "Suit up," Leo ordered. "Be careful. We don't know what we're dealing with." Mia and Eric donned their flight suits. Both wore calm faces, but Leo saw the tension in their eyes. The pod's hatch sealed with a hiss. Within minutes, Maya's voice crackled over the ship's intercom. "Pod en route. We're entering the nebula now." The main view screen went dark, then lit up with swirling clouds. Red and blue currents of gas twisted around the pod like giant fingers. Eric guided them forward while Maya kept steady on the controls. Suddenly, the pod sensors screamed in alert. Energy spikes flared. The grappler arm spun around. "We're caught in the field," Eric shouted. Lights blinked as the arm snagged. Something solid? A jagged piece of material that gleamed like metal. Maya adjusted their position. "Hold steady," she said. "This could be our proof." Back on the ship, Ava pored over the sensor feed. "Isolate the object's frequency," she instructed. "Compare its composition to known alloys." John worked quickly. "It's unlike anything in our database. The alloy has no recognizable element. But energy readings suggest it can harness dark matter." Leo's eyes widened. "Dark matter?" "That would mean technology far beyond our own." On the display, the pod's grappler reeled in the fragment. It looked like a shard of a massive machine, covered in strange runes that glowed faintly. Maya zoomed in. "Those symbols. They change shape," she said. "Like living language." Ava's voice trembled with excitement. "We need clear images of every angle, and begin a linguistic analysis. If we can translate even one phrase, it may tell us who built this." As the pod worked, the fragment activated. Glowing lines of light traced across its surface. A pulse of energy shot through the pod, briefly knocking out the feed. "Report," Leo barked. Static gave way to Maya's calm voice. "We're all right. The fragment just reacted. It pulsed once, then stopped. It seems dormant now. Eric held up the shard in front of a light. It's beautiful, he whispered. Leo nodded. Bring it aboard. Within an hour, the pod returned. Technicians secured the shard in a containment field. Ava studied it under magnified sensors. John ran microscopic scans of its surface. Meanwhile, word of the discovery reached the Galactic Assembly. Holocom alerts flashed through. The Grand Hall. Delegates paused their debates and watched screens showing the strange object. Counselor Vass smiled. Earth delivers. High Counselor Zelosi frowned. We will examine this ourselves. On Earth, people gathered around news halls. Children pointed at glowing runes. Scholars argued late into the night. For the first time, the human race felt more than curious. They felt proud. Ava Patel addressed the world in a live broadcast. This shard proves we were never the youngest. We uncovered relics older than the first warp drive. We stand not as children, but as heirs to an ancient legacy. Her words echoed across every continent. Leo watched the broadcast from his cabin. He felt a new sense of purpose. 3 days remained until the next assembly. In that time, Earth's finest minds would strive to decode the relic, translate its message, and prove that humanity belonged among the elders. Across the stars, the nebula held more secrets. And somewhere among its swirling mists, the creators of the shard watched and waited deciders of whether to welcome Earth into their ancient circle, or to let it fade back into obscurity. Asterisk for 2 days, Earth's greatest minds worked around the clock. In a glass-walled lab overlooking the capital city, Dr. Ava Patel and John Reyes huddled with a team of linguists, physicists, and codebreakers. The shard lay at the center of a reinforced table, its glowing runes shifting like living ink. Here, said Lena Burke, a young linguist, pointing at a sequence of symbols flickering in time with the shard's pulses. This pattern repeats every 13 seconds. It could be a delimiter like a sentence break. Ava nodded. Let's isolate one sequence and map it against known language structures. She tapped a screen, and a looped animation of the symbols played. John frowned. We've never seen characters that rearrange themselves. It's like the language adapts to whoever reads it. Meanwhile, on the exploration ship Endeavour, Captain Leo Grant received steady reports. Sensors had detected more relics deep inside the nebulous smaller fragments of the same material. A reconnaissance team led by Maya Ortiz and Eric Mills prepared to venture back in. Maya, Eric, Leo said over the com, focus on mapping the structure's exterior. We need to know its size and shape before risking entry. Their pod slipped again through the gas, guided by the Endeavour's tractor beam. Outside, the massive artifact loomed, a ring of dark alloy, hundreds of meters across, half buried in swirling clouds. Its surface was etched with the same glowing script. Eric's voice trembled with awe. It's a gateway. Or a seal. Maya steadied her tone. I'm sending surface scans. The ring has a fractal geometry. It looks impossible. Back on Earth, President Elena Grant, no relation to Leo, addressed the nation. This discovery will define our future. We ask every citizen to respect the science and refrain from panic. We stand on the shoulders of giants, though we did not know they existed until now. Across the Galactic Assembly, screens lit up with live feeds from Earth and the Endeavour. Counselors leaned forward, their earlier skepticism tempered by curiosity. High Counselor Zelosi inclined its head. Earth's progress is remarkable. Admiral Ronivas whispered to a nearby delegate. They work faster than some elder worlds. Ever did. In the lab, Lena let out a cheer. Ava rushed over. What is it? Lena's face shone. The delimiter sequence corresponds to the concept awakening. We have a basic lexicon. The runes for star, memory, and guide, John added, and the language structure is cyclical like time itself loops. Ava's heart pounded. Prepare a provisional translation. If we can convey even a fragment to the assembly, it will prove Earth's discovery is not mere chance. On the Endeavour, Maya's pod hovered near the gate's inner edge. A feint emanated from the ring. She triggered a low-frequency pulse from their scanner. The runes glowed brighter, and a translucent field shimmered in the center of the ring. Eric gasped. It's activating. Hold position, Maya ordered. Record everything. Images poured into the ship, a vast starlit corridor beyond the ring, lit by pale blue light. Strange vessels drifted in the distance, long craft shaped like petals covered in the same runes. Leo stared at the display. They're waiting to greet us, he said softly. Back on Earth, Ava's translation display glowed. In simple English, the runes spelled, "Welcome, seekers of truth. We are the first light. Through memory, we guide new children born of starlight." The lab erupted in applause. But Ava held up a hand. Wait, there's more. The next line appeared. Past this gate when you bear the light of understanding. A hushed silence fell. John whispered, "They called us seekers, children. They think we're young." Ava's eyes glittered. "Then we must show them we carry both curiosity and wisdom." 3 hours remained before Earth's presentation. Delegates, scientists, and citizens alike braced for the moment when humanity would step through an alien threshold into the realm of civilizations older than time, ready to claim its place among the galaxy's true elders. Asterisk, the final hours. Before the assembly presentation passed in a whirlwind of preparation. In the Capitol's grand auditorium, a crescent of empty seats waited for the delegates. Holographic projectors hovered above the stage, ready to display Earth findings. Dr. Ava Patel stood backstage, cradling a small drive containing the translation and footage. Beside her, linguist Lena Burke glanced at her notes. "Our provisional translation is clear," Lena said. "But if they ask for deeper context, we'll need to explain the gate's purpose." Ava nodded. "The message speaks of memory and guidance. We can say the first light created this gateway to share knowledge with emerging worlds." On the Endeavor, Captain Leo Grant readied his crew for a live feed. Mia Ortiz and Eric Mills checked their cameras aboard the pod, while John Reyes calibrated the translation overlay. "Transmit when ready," Leo ordered. The hollow screens in the auditorium flickered to life. Images of the nebula, the ring, and the glowing shard filled the space. Gasps echoed among the delegates as the ship's footage played, Mia's voice describing the corridor of light. Eric's close-up of the room-covered vessels. Ava stepped forward, voice steady. "Honored counselors, we present the gate of the first light." She pressed a button, and the translation overlay appeared. "Welcome, seekers of truth." Whispers rippled through the hall. High Counselor Zelosi's crystalline horns chimed softly. Admiral Ronivaz inclined her head in respect. Ava continued. "This artifact predates known history. It's builders who call themselves the first light created it to guide worlds toward knowledge and unity." Lena joined her at the console. "We have decoded key phrases: memory, star, understanding. The gate awaits those who carry curiosity and wisdom." A delegate from the Vesper. Alliance rose. "They honor youth, yet call for wisdom. How do you interpret their meaning?" John's face appeared on the holofeed. "Curiosity is the spark, knowledge the flame. Humanity offers both. We ask permission to activate the gate and learn from the first light." Silence fell. Then Zelosi spoke, voice resonant. "Earth's presentation is unprecedented. You have shown respect, skill, and unity. For that, you earn your voice in tomorrow's session." Applause broke out. Delegates stood as one. Admiral Vass smiled proudly at Ava. Leo and his crew celebrated aboard the Endeavor. Later, in a quiet corridor, Ava exhaled. "We did it." Lena grinned. "We proved Earth's worth." But Ava's gaze drifted to the starfield outside the lab. "Window, this is only the beginning. Once we pass through the gate, the First Light's legacy will reshape our understanding of the cosmos." Across the galaxy, the ring's inner field shimmered, awaiting those brave enough to step inside. And Earth's chosen few prepared to venture into the ancient, light ready to claim their place among the true elders of the stars. Asterisk. The next morning, Earth's delegation gathered at the foot of the gate of the first light. Delegates from dozens of worlds stood behind them, their curious eyes reflecting the gate's pale glow. Dr. Ava Patel checked her comlink. Captain? Grant, are you online? On board the Endeavor, Leo Grant's voice came through steady. All systems green. Maya and Eric are in the pod, in position, ready when you are. Ava took a deep breath. Very well. Let us proceed. A small team, Ava, John Reyes, and 2 experts in alien technology, stepped forward. With a nod from High Counselor Zelosi, Lena Burke initiated the activation sequence. A soft hum grew into a steady tone as the runes along the ring flared. Brighter dot on the Endeavor. The pod's view screen showed the inner field stretching into a corridor of shifting light. Maya's voice whispered, "It's like stepping into a new sky." Ava led the way. She lifted one foot into the glowing threshold, and felt a gentle pulse beneath her boots. The world around her stretched into patterns of blue and silver. John and the experts followed, their forms becoming silhouettes before solidifying into a vast chamber. They merged into a circular hall carved from living crystal. Walls inscribed with runes glowed softly, illuminating floating staircases that led nowhere in particular. The air held the faint scent of ozone and distant rain dot behind them. Maya and Eric piloted the pod through the gate. It materialized near the chamber's edge with a soft hiss. Their helmets retracted automatically, and they joined the human team. Ava looked around in awe. This place, it's alive. John knelt and touched the floor. The crystal resonates with knowledge. I can feel memories embedded here. Suddenly, a beam of light shot from a central pillar, resolving into 3 figures. They were tall and slender, their forms translucent, like beings made of starlight. Their eyes glowed with ancient kindness. One spoke in the first light's language. The translation overlay hovered in the air. Welcome, bearers of humanity's light. We are the first light keepers. You honor us by your courage. Lena stepped forward. We come seeking guidance and knowledge, to share and to learn. The second keeper's voice echoed. You have proven your worth. The cycle of remembrance begins. Ask what you will. A hushed excitement fell over the humans. John's fingers danced over a handheld translator. May we learn the history of this gate and the purpose of its builders. The third keeper nodded. Long ago, we seeded many worlds with this knowledge. We guided emerging species toward unity and peace. But as time passed, some worlds forgot. We slumbered until seekers reawakened the light. Ava's eyes glistened. And now that we have awakened you, what comes next? Trials of understanding? The first keeper replied. You must walk the 3 halls, of memory, of stars, and of wisdom. There you will face visions of your past, your future, and the choices that shape your destiny. Maya swallowed. Visions? Fear not. The second keeper soothed. These trials reveal who you truly are. Only then can you join the circle of elders. Ava glanced at her team. We accept. The keepers raised their arms. Light enveloped the chamber, and 3 doorways appeared, each etched with a different rune. A spiral, a starburst, and a stylized eye. Ava squared her shoulders. We go together. John placed a hand on her arm. United. They stepped toward the first doorway. As they crossed the threshold, the crystal walls shimmered and dissolved into a field of starry darkness. Suddenly, each saw a vision. Ava stood in her childhood home, watching her father plant a tree beneath Earth's sky. Maya found herself on an alien world, alone and afraid, yet guided by a distant light. John faced a vision of Earth ravaged by war, begging for peace. Their hearts pounded as the visions tested their memories, their fears, and their hopes. Yet together, holding hands, they moved forward, drawn by a promise that Earth's destiny lay not in conquest, but in understanding and unity among the stars. Beyond the trials awaited the halls of stars and wisdom, and with them, the chance for humanity to claim its place among the galaxy's true elders. *A. Pale light shivered as the group stepped from the Hall of Memory into the wide vestibule that led to the next trial. The walls here were smooth and dark, flecked with points of light like distant suns. A single archway, etched with a starburst rune, marked the entrance to the Hall of Stars. Ava touched the rune gently. This one tests our vision of the cosmos, she said. John nodded, checking the handheld translator to verify the keeper's instructions. Maya and Eric flanked them, steady but tense. They crossed the threshold together. In an instant, the chamber dissolved into boundless space. Stars wheeled above them in sweeping patterns, and nebulae glowed in violet and gold. It felt as if they floated between galaxies, weightless and alone. A deep voice filled the void. Observe the universe as it was, is, and may become. The translation appeared in soft light before them. Lena stepped forward. We must witness all three, she whispered. Past, present, future. Suddenly, the stars shifted into a spiral that drew them nearer. Ava reached out, and the spiral enveloped them. Vision of the past, they found themselves drifting beside a young star, glowing with blue-white fire. Around it spun rocky worlds under formation. Comets trailed bright tails as they swept by. Ava felt awe. She saw the birth of planets, the raw power that built worlds. She recognized the birthplace of every species, hers included. John's voice trembled in her ear. This is every beginning. He pointed to a small blue-green orb forming in the dust. That one, it looks like Earth. Ava watched as oceans filled the planet's basins and green spread across its surface. A hush fell as they recalled that moment when their world first came alive. Vision of the present with a soft pulse, the scene shifted. Now they floated among the stars. They existed today. Lights blinked on many worlds, cities, ships, drifting colonies. Battleships patrolled, explorers charted new sectors, traders plied star lanes. Maya felt a pang of worry. She saw a pair of ships from rival empires facing off in a tense standoff. On another world, refugees fled a dying sun. Eric pointed to a lone human freighter delivering medicine to a distant colony. We carry hope, he said quietly. Ava understood then that the present was fragile. So many lives depended on choices they could still make. Vision of the future, the stars rearranged again, forming a tapestry of possibility. Some pathways glowed bright, leading to peace and unity among worlds. Others flickered and snuffed out, ending in ruin. They saw alliances binding species in harmony, sharing knowledge and art. They also saw wars that consumed entire star systems, leaving nothing but blackened husks. Ava felt each vision like a weight in her chest. Her heart pounded as she saw. Earth's future hinged on a single decision, to reach out in friendship or to strike in fear. A soft glow gathered around them. Returning them to the vestibule, the stars faded, and the stone walls returned. John exhaled. We have seen what was, what is, and what could be. Maya placed a hand on his shoulder. Now we must choose our path. Ava turned to the next archway, its rune shaped like a stylized. The Hall of Wisdom awaits. They entered together. The Hall of Wisdom felt small and quiet. Walls lined with carved symbols glowed in warm amber light. In its center stood a circular dais, inscribed with a web of lines connecting each rune. A hush fell as a final voice spoke. Wisdom binds knowledge to action. Speak your truth. Ava stepped forward onto the dais. She steadied her voice. We have witnessed the birth of stars, the trials of our present, and the possibilities of tomorrow. Our truth is that knowledge without compassion leads only to danger. We choose unity, guided by understanding. John followed, voice calm. We will share our science with humility, listen to other worlds with respect, and protect life wherever we find it. Maya glanced at Eric, then spoke firmly. We vow to defend the weak and to seek peace as fiercely as we pursue victory. Eric nodded, voice steady. We commit our strength to the living tapestry of the galaxy to ensure that no path ends. In darkness, Lena stepped forward last. We will carry memory and hope to every world, so no species wakes alone in the void. A soft light rose from the dais, lifting them in a gentle glow. The walls brightened, illuminating a final inscription. Above the exit arch, here stand those who bear the light of understanding. Welcome, elders of the new dawn. Ava felt warmth spread through her chest. The trial was complete. They emerged back into the crystal chamber where the first lightkeepers waited. The keepers' forms shone brighter than before. Their presence, suffused with approval. You have walked the halls and proven your worth, the first keeper intoned. By memory, by vision, by wisdom, you carry the light. Ava met their gaze. We accept the responsibility. The second keeper extended a hand of light. Then rise, elders of humanity. Light surged, lifting the humans off their feet. They hovered a moment, awash in radiance, then gently settled back to solid ground dot as the glow faded. The chamber filled with a gentle hum of celebration. The keepers and the circle of assembled delegates saluted the new elders. Ava looked at her friends John, Maya, Eric, and Lena and smiled. They had crossed a threshold that no human had ever reached before. Together, they had proved that youth could hold the legacy of true elders. Now the galaxy would learn their names. And Earth would walk among the stars as a guiding light, not a fledgling world. Only one journey remained, to return home bearing the first light's wisdom and to share it with every corner of the cosmos. Asterisk. With the first light's keepers as witnesses, Dr. Ava Patel and her team prepared to depart the crystal chamber and return to Earth. The gate's inner field shimmered, ready to carry them back through the nebula and across the stars to their homeworld. Ava paused at the edge of the gateway, looking back at the glowing forms of the keepers. Thank you, she said, voice steady. We will honor your trust and share your wisdom. The first keeper's voice came in gentle echoes. Go with our blessing. May your light guide others as ours has guided you. One by one, the humans stepped into the corridor of pale blue light. Maya and Eric followed in the pod, still brimming with excitement. John carried the fragment that had begun this journey, the small shard now recognized as a key to unity and understanding. Lena held her translation logs, containing the first light's messages and teachings. The gateway's field closed behind them with a soft hiss, and the nebula's swirling colors swallowed the glow. For a moment, they drifted in the void between. Worlds carried by the gentle tug of the Endeavor's tractor beam. Then the familiar contours of the ship's docking bay appeared, and the pod slipped safely inside. Captain Leo Grant greeted them as they emerged. His face broke into a broad smile. Welcome back, elders, he said warmly. Ava laughed softly. Elders of a new kind, she replied. But our greatest task begins now. In the weeks that followed, Earth transformed. News halas and data feeds carried the first light's teachings to every city and settlement. Governments and scholars held forums on unity, compassion, and shared memory. Engineers studied the shard to unlock dark mattergy, while artists and poets drew inspiration from the crystal halls and shifting runes. At the Galactic Assembly's next grand session, the human delegation took their seats alongside ancient species that had once scorned them. High Counselor Zalosi rose and spoke. Earth has transcended its youth. Through courage and wisdom, it has earned its place among our oldest members. Let us welcome these new elders of the galaxy. Thunderous applause filled the hall. Ava, Leo, Maya, John, and Lena stood and bowed. As the assembly gates opened, delegates from every corner of known space came forward to pay their respects and to learn from humanity's journey. On Earth, President Elena Grant addressed the world in a live broadcast. We stand today not as a young planet seeking approval, but as custodians of knowledge older than any of us imagined. We will use this gift of understanding to build a future of peace, unity, and shared wonder. Children in classrooms studied glowing replicas of the runes. Scientists launched new expeditions to search for more relics of the first light. Pilots charted courses through the nebula to explore. Other gates rumored to exist. Ava returned to her laboratory, but her work had changed. She no longer sought only answers to scientific puzzles. She helped guide teams focused on ethical use of new technologies and interplanetary cooperation. John led a project to adapt dark matter energy for medical applications, saving lives on remote colonies. Maya and Eric founded a training academy for pilots and explorers, teaching both practical skills and the values they learned in the halls of wisdom. Lena became a cultural envoy, translating not just alien languages, but ideas between worlds. Years passed, and Earth's legacy grew. The once dismissed planet became a hub of diplomacy and discovery. Worlds that had feared human ambition now celebrated human empathy. The Council's archives recorded this transformation as a testament to what curiosity, courage, and compassion could achieve. On the anniversary of the human's trial, Ava stood before the gate of the First Light, now housed in a floating museum above the capital city. The crystal ring glowed softly as visitors passed through, experiencing echoes of the three trials. In gentle simulations, Ava watched young students emerge with wonder in their eyes. She thought of the vision she had in the Hall of Wisdom, a path bright with unity and boundless possibility. That path had become real. Humanity had proven that youth did not mean naivety, but rather potential enriched by responsibility. Ava smiled as she turned to watch the sunset beyond the city's towers. The sky was painted in colors she now knew, as echoes of distant nebulae. Somewhere among those stars, the First Light watched and waited, its ancient promise fulfilled. An Earth, once thought too young to matter, burned brightly as a new beacon among the galaxy's true elders. Asterisk.